Hello, everyone. My name is Devon Sharp, and today I pose a question. Have you ever been to a conference or seen a motivational speaker and wondered how they're so effective at impacting an audience, sometimes without even using a word? Well, I have. And through personal experience and research for my communications course in the summer of 2025, I've been able to implement skills that help communication in my everyday life. And two skills that I'd like to highlight that I feel like are the most important are my nonverbal communication and democratic leadership. So according to helpguide.org, all of your nonverbal behaviors, the gestures you make, your posture, your tone of voice, and how much eye contact you make send strong messages. So for me personally, when preparing a best man speech this summer, which I'm super proud of, that's me there, I had to focus on these nonverbal cues, making sure that all of my nonverbal energy matched what I was saying in my speech. If I wanted people to feel more excited, I might speed up or animate my body a little more. But if I wanted people to feel anxiety, or if I wanted to create a little suspense, I might stop, right? So giving the speech and practicing the speech, I had to be very cognizant of all of these nonverbal cues and focus on my eye contact to make sure that I'm looking at my audience. I'm also very conscious about my nonverbal communication when it comes to my children. So a big issue that I'm having right now with my 3-year-old is a lot of things that he does is funny. And as a dad, I want to laugh, but it's not always going to be the best learning process if I'm laughing and I'm saying, hey, don't do that. If I really want to be an effective parent, I need to say no. And I need to make sure that my nonverbal cues are matching what I'm trying to say to my children. Because according to Choices and Connections, the 4th edition, nonverbal cues make up for 93% of all communication, while 7% are the words that we're actually saying. And as I mentioned earlier, democratic leadership is a great highlight for the enrichment of communication in my everyday life. So according to the National Society of Leadership and Success, democratic leadership generates high levels of productivity, creativity, team engagement, and a more collaborative and inviting work environment. So I use a democratic leadership in my management role at work. I'm able to ask thoughts on new methods for solving tasks and see if somebody has a new approach to a task that I haven't thought of yet. It also allows me to understand the needs of my coworkers and my peers and allow them to be involved in the decision-making process when changes are coming up. Another way that I use a democratic leadership style is again in my parenting, where I use inclusive language with my children, allowing them to be involved in the decision-making process. If I just tell my son, hey, go to bed, or hey, cook, or hey, take a bath, it's just dictatorship at that point, right? There's no us, there's no we. But if I allow him to make a decision and say, hey, would you like to take a bath or would you like to eat first? Okay, Dad, I'd like to eat first. And then just using that we language, okay, we'll go cook real quick and then we'll take a bath. Now he feels involved in that decision-making process. So in conclusion, the improvement of my communication skills have ultimately come down to my nonverbal communication mixed with my democratic leadership style. It's really helped in the communication of my everyday life. And I think that effective nonverbal communication mixed with that democratic leadership style approach can really benefit and has benefited my professional and my parenting life. So thank you all so much for listening, and I'll leave it open for any questions.